for training, like what's your recommendation on how long someone should train and for how many days, I guess? Like, because there's some people that want to train for like 45 minutes as their whole gym session, and then there's people that want to train for like an hour or 2 hours.
Yeah. Again, it's personal, really. All of my clients have a training program, and your workout should really, if you're going through it, without taking too long breaks, you shouldn't be in the gym more than an hour ever for your actual workout. Obviously, when you're adding cardio in, you may be doing cardio fast in the morning, you may be doing it after your workout, or and you may be just building up the time on that. So that's kind of separate. But in terms of training, personally, I think quality over quantity. Like, you don't want to be in the gym for 2 hours doing what you could have done in 45 minutes, because you would have got your heart rate up a lot more if you did it in 45 minutes and you got that greater intensity, to what you're doing. So it is important your coach will be building your training plan, hopefully, or if you're my client, I'm creating your training plan based on what you need to work on. Right. So let's say you've got amazing glutes and legs, but you really need to build muscle in your upper body. Your training will be more focused around that. So generally speaking, for competition clients, my clients have a body part split. So they may train back and shoulders one day, and then glutes and hamstrings one day, and then the next day is an arm day. So it's all broken up. And for you, so you've had 3 months of programs from me, and there would have been a different split, slightly different every time.
Yeah.
1 month you may have just an arm day, but the next month it's arms and shoulders together, and then back and chest together, whatever. It's mixed up to give variety, and obviously to target the muscles in different ways within those workouts. But if you are trying to grow, it's important that you've got enough rest, enough recovery. So you don't want to train too often, but you also don't want to train not enough. If you're trying to get into condition, so you're trying to get leaner, then it's great to keep your workouts kind of condensed so that the intensity within the workouts high, so that you're actually going to be burning more calories while you're doing it as well. If you, let's say you're doing this workout and you're resting for 2 minutes between every set, then it's going to be like, you're not going to get your heart rate up, it's not going to be as intense, So that's, if you're in the stage of cutting, then I'm often aiming to get the intensity up, so adding in like lots of different supersets. So there's different things I do within an actual workout that would increase intensity, but in terms of training, you're not going to get, just because you're training for 2 hours doesn't mean you're getting a better workout than someone who's training for 45 minutes. It's about the quality, and it's about overloading the muscle every rep and pushing your sets and your reps to failure. And if you're doing that and it's only taking you 45 minutes, then good job, you got more time to go and watch TV or whatever you want to do. So there's no fixed anything. It depends what stage you are of your prep, and your coach should give you a plan that's going to make sure you know exactly what you're doing and when. And you shouldn't be needing to spend hours in the gym. The approach that I take with it is, if you're in an improvement season and you're trying to build muscle, we minimize cardio as much as we can, and we maximize food as much as we can to help you grow. So you're training hard, you're not doing cardio because that's just going to use extra calories up, and you're eating more so that you've got the extra calories to build muscle. If you're getting ready for a show and you're cutting, what I generally try and do is I try and build cardio up slowly and manipulate. It's not always dropping calories as such. Some people work better on a low fat, some people work better on low carb. It's not just that calories is important, but it's actually changing the carbs and protein and fat around as well. That can have quite a different result for different people as well. So right now I'm learning your body, and if I keep feeding you more carbs, does your weight go up because you're gaining muscle? And okay, so if feed you so many carbs, you're probably about to explode. So now I'm going to add in some fats because they're calorie dense. But I'm learning your body in this process so that when we start then cutting down for your show, I know I have an idea of maybe what way I'm going to manipulate the foods around to get the best result. But always trying to get the most result out of the least change, if that makes sense.
Got it.
So starting with 10 minutes of cardio a day, and then 15, and then 20, rather than going, all right, we're starting cutting, let's do half an hour of cardio a day.
Right.
Because why would you jump there if you don't have to?
Yeah.
Because then you're going to have to jump higher because your body's going to adjust to half an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the approach with training. There is no approach. We make it up.
And you did mention the rest and recovery. One of my questions was actually about sleeping, and like how much should a competitor be getting per day or per week or whatever? Like what's
I mean, I know they recommend 8 hours sleep a day. Like I seldom get 8 hours sleep a day. I'm probably like 5, 6.
Right.
Probably like generally. If you are not sleeping enough or resting enough, you're not going to recover the same way or as efficiently, and you may struggle to build muscle. You may also struggle to lose fat, because if you're pushing your body to the extreme all the time, your stress hormones may be elevated, which can make it near impossible to lose body fat. So if you're like doing cardio and you're dieting, following your nutrition perfectly, and you're just not budging on the scales, sometimes it's a hormonal thing. It can be a stress hormone thing, so sleep, but it can also be like particularly for females, like an estrogen thing. If your estrogen's whack, you may struggle to lose body fat. So obviously, like, getting enough sleep is something that's like, if you can prioritize that, it's going to really benefit you in terms of, a rested body is always going to look better than one that's like strung out, burnt out,
yeah.
Stressed. So I would always recommend getting as much sleep as you can, and most of my clients will have at least one rest day programmed in. If we're super close to a competition, sometimes there might be days where I have you do cardio but not train, just rest from weights, so it's not like a full rest day. But particularly until we're close to a show, I'll always be saying full rest day, nothing like sleep, go to the movies, like, go for a walk, that's cool, but like an actual rest day.
What about practicing your posing?
You can practice your posing. That's fine. So yeah, sleep is important as all part of the whole recovery picture, and I guess the thing is, if you are struggling to lose fat or build muscle, that's one thing to look at. Am I recovering properly? And one of the factors to consider in that is, are you getting enough sleep? So yeah, it is important.
Awesome. And then my final question was posing. So for certain shows, there's different, I guess, judges prefer to do like face forward, face back, or do quarter turns. Is that essentially your personalized routine, like when you first go out and they first see you, broken down into little sections?
Yeah, so you'll go out on stage and do your routine, and particularly, I mean, in the NPC shows, when you become a pro, you usually get a bit more time. At an NPC show, at an amateur level, you don't usually get a lot of time. So sometimes they will literally have you come out, do one pose, and go to the side. So you may only get to walk out and do a pose if it's a huge show. There's no, usually it's like 10 seconds. So like for your muscle contest shows, you will walk out, do your own little routine, front pose, back pose, basically back to the front, do your curtsy or your thank you gesture to the judges, and then you'll be filing off to the side. Then when you come back to do your comparisons, so you'll do your individual routines, they line you up, and then they're going to have you face the front, and then they're going to have you turn to face the back, and usually walk to the back as well. So what you do need to know, like your compulsory poses, front pose, back pose, there is no quarter turns for NPC and IFBB. So other federations may do that, but for bikini, for bodybuilders do their quarter turns, of course, but for bikini, there is no turn to the side. So the judges are never going to ask you to turn to the side. They're going to want to see your front pose. So it's usually your routine. They're obviously not talking. That's just you showing off your best, and we're going to go right after this and work on what is going to be your best, so your little routine that you're going to present. But it's going to be you giving your best front pose and back, and then curtsy. When you come back for comparisons, they're going to say, ladies face the front and turn to the back. So when you go through from the front to the back, you're going to do, you're going to show off in your side, so your side pose, but they're never going to actually ask you to quarter turn to the side.
Got it.
So front pose, back pose, they will also ask you to walk to the back, and you'll do your back pose again. The important thing with comparisons is that you're always posing. So you face the front, and then they ask you to face the back. That's cool. You go into your back pose. Then they say walk to the back. You walk to the back, and you go straight into your back pose. You don't walk and just stand there, which, you know what I mean? You're always, whatever is the next pose, you're always posing. So that's really important to remember. And in terms of the actual poses, we are going to figure out what's best for your body, but there's kind of no right and wrong. But some countries are more strict on the front pose. Some countries are very strict on having the compulsory both feet straight on the line, one hand on the hip, feet apart pose, which is that kind of what I would call the ordinary front pose is kind of going out of fashion a little bit. Like people are doing different front poses, and we'll have a look once we get into the gym and have a look at your posing. But some people that pose looks great, and so do it. Some people it doesn't look great, and I'd say don't do it. I stopped doing that pose soon after I turned pro because I'm very quad dominant. So I was trying to actually make my body look more streamlined by not showing how much muscle I have on my quads. And even now, after I've shrunk them basically in half of what they were, I still don't do that pose because it doesn't flatter my physique. It's not, you don't get much time on stage. You want to make sure that every single pose that you show is X factor. It's if this doesn't look wow, why are you showing the judges that?
Right.
So you want to show them everything you want them to see, and if you don't want them to see it, then sure as hell don't show it.
Yeah.
That's the end. You can make your body look a lot of different shapes on stage, and it's really important to work with someone who knows how to create the best, hourglass bikini body shape for your particular physique. Make sense?
Yeah.
Cool.
That's all I had.
All right.
Thank you.
So let's go and get into the gym and have a look at the posing. What I want to get you to do first is, I know you've done some posing. Basically, I want you to show me what you've done, and we're going to work from there.
Show me what you got.
Show me what you got, and
Hold on. I have to get ready and all set up.
No pressure.
No pressure whatsoever.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go kind of slow motion from the start.
Okay.
And what we're going to do is, break it down from the start, and there are bits and pieces that I'll change, and I'll just do it bit by bit. So if you go again from the start.
From the walk.
Yeah, and I'm just going to stop you, so you're not going to get that far. I apologize.
That's fine.
Ready, set, go.
Ready, set, go.
Okay, this foot, don't do this picky-uppy thing. You want this to look natural. It's a beach body category, right? So you're just strutting down the beach and you just happen to look this good, okay? So less, you do that one little foot thing.
Yeah.
You do it each time you go into a front pose. So just what you do is fine. So go into the pose that you do there and to the back. Just want to have a look how this looks for you. Relax your arm. Yeah, that's the normal front pose, and I actually don't do that much on you. I don't think it does a lot for you. Come with your front foot straight, and
Like the right leg.
so you're going to do this front leg is going to be straight, And then take your back hand on hip and then turn your body this way. Now your hand wants to be on your hip rather than your waist. If your hand's up too high, it's going to make your legs look really long and your body look short. So hold on to your hip bone, which is also where like the connectors on your bikini will sit. So your bikini will sit there, your hand goes there. So you're trying to kind of really get your body back around to the front. Just for you, just pop, yeah. Shoulders don't get wonky. You fixed it before I said, but this shoulder was down. Did you see it?
A little bit.
Yeah. So square here, yeah. So that's your front pose, and this, yeah, that's perfect for me. So you're going to do that, and then all you really need to do is go into your turn to the back.
Okay.
So in terms of like your, I know you turned that way. Again, it's kind of like you could take a step to kind of make that seamless, that transition, but you don't need to. So from here, if you can just go to there, then that's all you need to do, if it's not awkward. What I don't want you to do is keep doing the same thing over and over, but from here, back even further.
Yeah.
Because what we can do is actually take out the very first pose we did and only do this at the start and then walk forward. So it's only one pose, if that makes sense.
Got it.
So we'll build it and what we've already done today and keep you practicing this, but we can take bits out if we think it's taking too long.
Okay.
It's much safer to have a very simple, precise routine that shows everything you want to show and doesn't have any extra crap in it,
Right.
than to be rushed, trying to do too many poses.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? So when you come to the back, so go into your back pose is actually really good, as it is, and I don't say that often to people that are new. Mostly it's like, whoa, what's going on? So yeah, I want you to slightly press your hands into your legs so that you feel tension through your hamstrings. You can feel that? And so you're keeping your knees soft, just unlock your knees. Yeah, so if your knees are locked out, like the joints are locked, you won't feel any tension through your hamstrings. It's pretty much impossible. But if your knees are just soft, you'll feel that little bit of tension, and that will allow you to get your hamstrings to pop and your glutes. And then you're tipping forward, and then you're lifting up. You're pretty much bang on right there. So just take your hands in just a fraction, like in towards each other.
Oh.
Yeah, that's basically the only change I really need to change. So I just could kind of see your hands out the side and it was a little bit too wide. You want to just keep your posture's great. You don't want to like scrunch your back together, which you're not, but some people do. They do like this, and that makes you look narrow at the top, and so you lose the X shape.
Right.
So we want the width through the top, so you want to kind of like keep your shoulders, relaxed out here, width, narrow waist, and width through your hips. So you're pretty much on the money. So from your back pose, and then you're going to just literally step back in.
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Yeah, so that's you.
That's me.
Almost ready for the stage.
Thank you. Oh.